The lights come on from afar. I could see it all, every little crease. Your Sunday dress hung up on a wall. Jesus sees it all, but he's seen better days.
Come to me, Chai. There he is. This dude. Test, check. We're live. I'm live with Chai Hansanuwat. I got his name right first try.
First try. It must be an Asian thing that you just know.
I know, I practiced. Literally. Hey, you get to make a good impression on somebody.
Yeah.
I don't like mispronouncing names, and I'm interested in names.
My name though is easier than it looks. Like
It rolls off the tongue surprisingly. I kind of almost got it like first try, and I was like, okay.
It's intimidating though when you first see it.
It's
like, man,
visual.
that's a lot of characters.
You snuck an N in there in the middle. Don't forget that one.
That's the thread of the Thai last name, but mine's an easy Thai last name.
So were you born here or?
I was born here.
Nice.
My dad is from Thailand. All his family's from Thailand. My mom's from here. Full mix of everything.
Yeah.
Spanish, American,
Awesome.
Everything. And my dad's Chinese Thai. So
Okay.
Your
eyes, you got like all kinds of stuff even in the eyes.
Yeah.
Sorry to just stare deeply in
That's
your eyes.
right.
But you literally have like greens, like hazels.
And it changes. It changes sometimes throughout the day, but usually based on what I'm wearing, it
I hear
reflects
that. Yeah,
differently.
I hear that. Like some people's eyes get like more gray or more blue or something.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Awesome.
So originally my dad's their last name was Han, but in order to get land in Thailand, to get property, you had to be Thai.
His
So
last name was Han.
they just added
sounds
a
like
bunch of things to the end of Han, and then made it a Thai last
What
name.
would you extend it out to?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I like Han though. Han is
Yeah.
strong. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's a cool story. Like that's just the original.
Yep.
And they have to like swap it around.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people do that. They have to like when they have to go like they have their American name sometimes.
Yeah.
And so you were where were you raised around?
I always Southern California, born and
Nice.
raised, Rolling Heights. Well, originally in Pomona, and then around I think age 8, something like that, moved to Rolling Heights,
Nice.
and
It's nice
spent a
up
lot of time there before it was fully built up. Like, there was still a lot of open land there,
there. Sure.
and our house was brand new and building the whole thing up. And now you go there, and that's the place to go to get all the food. Right?
Oh
That's where
yeah,
all the
totally.
good food
Kidding
is.
me? Yeah, no, it's flourishing out there.
It's a totally different place.
It's a cool
now.
community out there too. Like
Yeah.
we lived in La Habra area, so we were just like dipped down.
Just on the other side, yeah, in Fullerton.
Awesome growing up out there. Pomona, so you were in Pomona when it was kind of rough.
Too young to really remember, but yeah.
You were. It was around
Yeah.
that time, but before they cleaned it up, kind of a lot of graffiti everywhere.
Yeah, I
just
remember.
craziness.
My older brother would come back from the park, like he'd rush into the house real quick,
Like,
because someone was chasing him, and just. But I was too young to remember all that.
Fair enough. Yeah, big family.
So,
Little family.
2 brothers, and that's really it. Extended family is not big either, so
Pretty tight.
pretty light. Yeah, my mom said it was kind of hard raising 3 boys.
Oh my gosh, yeah, handful.
I'm,
Bless your heart.
I'm the middle child, so I was the one that learned how to.
Yeah, way far out.
I was the one that learned how to kind of be in the middle and
Mediator.
the mediator, right? Bring everyone together,
Interesting.
and it still seems like what I do.
Yeah.
That's how
That's your role in life,
Yeah.
probably now.
exactly.
Because you became good at it with your brothers.
Exactly.
That's a good thing to.
Yeah.
You're a peacemaker, I suppose.
Yep.
I would imagine
That's
you've done that a lot of times.
a lot, and
Yeah.
sometimes I need to learn to back off and let people
Yeah, let them work
handle
out
it
their
themselves,
Let them
and
bump
not get
into
involved,
walls.
but it's stressful sometimes, man.
You just want to, if you kind of know better, or if you think well, just
Mm-hmm.
want to help.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I want to
you
fix
gotta let 'em
things,
bump into stuff. Yeah. I say this with Jenny. It's like sometimes people just want somebody to just listen. They don't want like a solution.
And you know what? In a relationship, that's the hardest thing to remember.
To know when to not like just back away, and this person just needs to like blow off some steam and listen.
Yeah.
And it needs to have a listener.
So many of my wife and I, we don't fight very often, but when we do, most of the time it's just all I had to do was listen, like not solve the
Once
problem.
you kind of stop and then you get both sides, you can kind of piece together a little, rationalize it out a little bit more.
Yep.
Just take it, man. Well, you've been in a relationship for long enough, so you know.
Yeah.
You know the truth. You know the secrets. This is work, man. That's all I've always said.
I've been divorced already, so I already know what not to do.
So you've been through the full experience. I would say I'm very lucky to have, so far so good.
Yeah. There's my peeps.
Man, I was just eyeballing like.
I actually brought my fixed gear bike today.
Oh man, that brings me. Yeah, I had my fixie when I was riding around here too. I'm not joking. That was like the time of the fixie. My goodness.
I got it locked on top of the car just in case I decide to ride.
Beautiful. Can you lock them up?
Not very well. I can
But
do
you
it.
can do it.
But if I were going 30,
Don't trust it. Yeah.
That's why I still got the front brake.
Yeah, of course. I was practicing, man, and like it got a little hairy a couple times. You have to commit. It's a full commit. And you really do have to like lean that.
And I was thinking like things are different these days. So, you and I are same age, right?
Sure.
Similar age, same age, I don't know.
Sure.
When we were younger, we didn't have any fear. Right? Just go for it. We'll heal. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Bones break. Everything. Go back.
Every single thing we do now, we've learned that everything's a calculated risk.
This is true.
Right?
This is true. It's like if I break my hands, that means I can't use the mouse.
Exactly.
That means I can't get paid.
Like, what am I not going to be able to do if this does not go well?
Exactly.
And what are the odds of this not
Can I
going
afford
well?
to be like 1 month and out of commission? Yeah.
So now, like I was watching your skateboarding stream the other day, and I could see hesitation, and it's because
calculated risk.
It's like, okay, my knee is already jacked up. If I mess this up, how long am I going to be out?
That's the battle.
right?
It's a struggle, and you want to do it so bad.
Yeah.
And you have to throttle yourself and say, like, dude, like it's not worth it. It's literally my energy bar.
Yeah.
And once it's down here, it's down here. You can't get it back,
Exactly.
and you just gotta stop because it gets sloppy, and that's what you get. That's what people
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff. It's funny, like we were doing the parents' parkour night
Nice.
at my son's gym,
Nice. Bring your parents in.
and the one thing I told the coach, he was asking everyone, what do you guys want to accomplish today? And I was like, I want to be able to do a Kong off the, I think it's probably 3 foot block. It's about
Sure.
3 feet high, about 2 feet wide. So I want to be able to Kong over that.
Nice.
And he's just looking at me like, okay.
Respect. Okay.
And you know what? I felt it out a few times. He actually set it up in a way where I can see how I'm progressing without the risk of
Sure.
tripping over it and hitting my face because he had the 2 blocks.
To
set
like
up,
work your
right?
way up to it.
Yeah, so I was actually going in between the blocks.
Okay. Got you.
And
Nice.
I just worked on that, and it's all about, like I said, the calculated risk. And at that point, it's like, okay, I've done the math in my head.
Yep.
If I do eat it, he's just taught me how to bail,
Yes.
right?
Worst
And-
that can happen.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's really what parkour is, right?
Yeah,
Knowing
sure.
your limits and
Knowing
knowing
what you
how
can
to
do.
escape from things.
I
And
agree.
sure enough, and my son's like, just do it, just go for it. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Throw it out if it's calculated.
yeah, and that's something that at this age I don't remember anymore. Everything's a risk. It's like,
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, I hear you. 1,000%. Yeah.
it's like, yeah,
He's taking a shower.
I know I can ollie up that curb, but
I'll take a
I know
shower and I'm
if
like, I'll take a shower and I'm thinking of bouncing on one foot in the shower like I used to. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't think I'm going to do that anymore.
so sure enough,
Yeah.
he said go for it, and I went for it and I did it, and it was awesome. It
Yeah.
wasn't pretty.
Satisfying. No, same.
But I did
people same. It was slops, but dude, like, you can't be happier. Can't be happier.
And I was
That's huge.
I was like,
Wow, So
okay,
your brother knows
my limits.
I
Yeah, obviously, mobility is one of them
Yeah,
at this age, right? Strength is not a limiter,
Energy.
but the biggest limiter for us these days is just our mental. Hey, let's calculate the risk, because that's what we've learned to do right in this time. And I'm trying to teach my son to calculate the risks.
Yeah.
But at the
Especially
same
when you're
time, I
young.
don't want to hold him back.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're young, that's a hard one to do. You know what I mean? Especially like I can imagine my parents dealing with that with me, and I was literally just hurling myself off of things when I was younger and breaking things left and right.
Yeah.
They're just like,
My
I'm
mom-
gonna have to do that.
My mom said I had my own room in the ER.
Yeah, they
Because I
knew
was
me by
always in
name.
there.
They knew me by name in the ER, Kaiser Permanente Riverside. They're like, James, what are you doing here again?
Here's a great story. You want a good story? So, I don't know how old I was. Probably 7 years old. I'm riding my bike, and I thought I was a cowboy. Right, I had a rope,
Awesome.
and I'm swinging it around, riding my bike, pretending my bike's a horse. Okay, I was 7 years old.
Yeah, perfect.
At the same time, back in the driveway of my house, my older brother had challenged my mom to pogo stick competition. Who can do the
Oh
most?
my gosh.
Who can stay on the longest? Right.
Well, this six is so sketchy. Real quick.
Yeah.
Side note.
So my mom's on the pogo stick,
Let's go.
and I'm riding down the street, right? And
Let's go.
I've got my lasso on. And I'm riding the bike, and the rope goes into the front spokes. Wheel stopped. I go flying over the front,
The
right?
Indo, the
Yeah.
dreaded Indo.
Did the endo, smacked right on my head. Big old nut, right? My mom's on the pogo stick, sees it, falls off the pogo stick, lands on her elbow, right? We're both in the ER.
Let's go.
So my mom's in there for her sprained elbow. I'm in there for a knot on my head, and my dad's pissed. Little short Asian dude, pissed. He's outside the room. He's pacing back and forth, right? Pissed as hell, like, what's wrong with you two? I'm sharing a room with an injured police officer,
Oh, really?
and his buddies come to visit.
Okay, you got a big old welt.
I've got a welt on my head. My mom's got a sprained arm. My dad's outside, pissed, pacing back and forth. Mom, why are the cops pulling dad aside? Asking questions. Did they pull my brother aside? Okay, tell us what really happened.
That's hilarious. She like dropped the legs, fly stunner on it. On it, dude.
Yeah, it was
That's too good.
it was great.
That's too funny.
Yeah, so they thought, my dad went nuts, and
Oh yeah.
good times.
But they get through it and they continue to like let us do all that stuff. Well, so you were in the middle. I would imagine because I have only an older sister. It's just the two of us,
Mhm.
and so the stereotypes were the older one is they're very strict on the older one typically,
Yep.
and the younger one they're kind of a little bit. They just
Yeah.
let them kind of. They're like at that point they're like over it.
Yeah.
They're just like
And I
figure it
can
out.
tell you as a parent that's how it is, right? I've got
Yeah.
3.
Okay, there you go.
The first one, oh crap, the pacifier fell on the floor. I better go sanitize it.
Exactly. Everything possible.
The new
to
one
do this good.
falls in the dirt. It's like,
Ain't gonna kill the kid. Yeah, you know.
plop it right back in.
It's hilarious.
How it goes.
Yeah, she's a little bit bitter about that towards me ever since, just because like they were so strict on her, and they literally. And it's funny because I had to talk to my mom. I was like, "Why did you let me do whatever I wanted? You were so like you didn't give me a curfew." And she was like straight up. She was like, "Because we trusted you. We didn't trust her." She's like, "You seen her friends? Her friends are crazy idiots." Because I would at least learn from others. We were different. Me and my sister always say this: are opposites in that like. She has all when we were younger, at least, she had all the responsibility and none of the like common sense.
Yeah.
And I had all the common sense, none of the
None of the
responsibility.
responsibility,
So like all my friends were like genuine, truthful. I still talk to this day. They're like family to me, and all of that stuff we had figured out. But like I couldn't I was always broke, and I was always like couldn't figure out how to do like. I was always figuring out that part to like balance, and she was doing the other part of like learning to be like emotionally solid and have good relationships with people too. We always like filling each other's blanks, I guess.
Yeah. Like, I've learned a lot from my older brother,
Of course.
And I didn't pass a whole lot of that down to my younger brother, and it was kind of hard, the way life went. When my parents split up, it was right when I turned 18, and so me and my older brother, we just kind of went on our way. Right?
Yeah, just
and
do what you can. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and then my younger brother was kind of like left behind, and
Man, that's rough. Yeah.
and I look back now and it's like, holy shit, I was trying to survive at the time.
Yeah, in the
on
end,
my own.
you're all just trying to get by. You know what I mean?
But I think it's kind
Doing your best.
of scarred him a bit, felt abandoned and left. And I try to do what I can now, but we're also busy.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
You know, in the end, they all know, though,
Yeah.
right? When it's family, when you all grow up together, like, they all know in
Yeah.
the end. That's the thing. You can't, like, get anything by your family after a certain point in time. Cool, man. Let me ask you the standards, I guess, or just
Yeah.
the stuff that I'm curious about.
Yep.
What do I got to do to get me to win the contest? I'm just kidding. Hold on, let me turn this recorder off real quick.
This is the art one.
This is this meeting was all about. Okay. You need to hurt somebody. I hurt someone for you. You need me to, do some dirt for you. I'll give you a 1,000% guaranteed Pancho favor for life. You want someone to put in the dirt. Do for you, just make this happen for me.
I knew you had an agenda. I didn't know this was it.
Set it back. No, I'm totally kidding. Oh,
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, man. I ain't got no pull there.
I respect fair competition. It wouldn't be fun if it wasn't fair. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
To the best gets the win.
I haven't seen all of them though. I want to.
I can't wait.
Get through them.
I can't wait to see the top 5. I know there's gonna be heaters. No, but what I was really gonna ask you is, how'd you get involved with Mythical Games?
So yeah, that's interesting with Mythical. So I've been doing what I do for 21 years now, which is quality engineering, right? I started, at the bottom, taught myself, went into, automating the testing and writing all the scripts and doing all that, and teaching myself how to code and do all that. And in 2020, up to that point, I kind of changed direction a little bit, and I went from being the individual contributor and doing the coding and all the work and leading people and teaching them how to do it and managing them, and I really liked
knew
it.
the ropes by
Yeah.
at that point.
And I found more enjoyment out of seeing someone else, get
Let's
that
go.
look on their face, like,
Mhm.
oh shit, this is cool.
Yeah.
I can do this, right?
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that, and I was in open exit 2020, so COVID hit and everything, right? And I think it was March or something. We all started working from home, and in April, the company said, "Hey, we're not doing so good right now.
Yeah.
No one's spending any money. We have to have layoffs," and 40% of the company was gone, and I was part of that
I've
40%.
been there, I had a feeling you went through the exact same
Yeah.
thing that I went
And
through.
and that was not my first rodeo. Like
Yeah,
tech
sure.
in the tech
Same here.
industry.
Yeah,
it's like
same here. I've gone down with a couple ships in my time.
yeah, it's like okay, you can see the writing on the wall, right?
Yeah,
You know
for
it's
sure.
coming, but you most of the time.
unnecessary.
The guy's just doing circles because he was parked over by where we were earlier. So 2020, COVID, work from home. Okay.
Yep.
So at that time, California had a thing where if the company's not doing well due to COVID, they don't have to give a severance.
Yeah.
Tech companies are always good with giving severances.
Sure.
But
That's
this
weird.
layoff was, I got 1 month and that was it. I was like, dude,
Wow.
this is scary.
Yep.
No one's freaking hiring right now.
Yeah, scramble. Oh my gosh.
Luckily, at that time, the unemployment benefits were pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Get you by.
because I had been part of layoffs before, this time I was prepared.
Mhm.
Had savings, had
Yep.
money set aside,
Yep.
right? And I knew
In
what
just
I
enough
needed.
time to get
Yep.
another. Yeah.
I knew what I needed to survive. Contacted the bank, put the mortgage on hold, right? That's, a couple grand a month that I
Mhm.
save.
Mhm.
And no one's hiring. It's like, shit, what the hell?
Terrifying.
So I start, trying to keep myself busy. You've seen like the mountain biking videos
Projects and
and all that good stuff, but none of that really made any money, right?
Yep.
So
Same. At least you keep busy though,
yeah, but it was fun. That was the thing.
and you're
right? It
building.
was
You're
fun.
building on something. You know
Right,
what I mean? Yeah.
and I'm learning stuff.
Exactly.
And then I got back I started making some woodworking stuff.
Nice.
Right, I've always loved woodworking. Never done it real seriously.
Awesome.
And then so my son's doing homeschooling, and one day I noticed like on his Zoom chat,
Mhm.
kids are on the kitchen floor on their computers.
Sure.
They're on the couch.
Sure. That's true.
Mom's in the background trying to work from home,
Mhm.
right? And you can hear all the noise.
Yep. That's
And
chaotic.
I was like, you know, at that time, I just started building all these flags out of pallets and stuff, and I was
Okay.
selling those for $100 a piece. And
Nice.
I was making pretty
Yeah.
decent dough.
That's
Not-
good work too. That's
Definitely
like-
not a tech salary.
Sure.
You know, tech salaries are it's hard to match. But
But it's working with your hands.
Yeah.
It's good work.
so on my Instagram, I started picking up people, right? People
Sure.
starting to follow. They're
Nice.
oh, I like the flags, blah blah.
Mhm.
So you know, I'd gotten up to like a whole 300 followers, or whatever.
Thank you.
And I had posted on there, hey, if anyone's kid needs a desk, I got tons of scrap wood laying around. I'll throw it together, no charge. Just let me know, right?
Wow.
I've got
Okay.
scrap wood. I might as well put it to good use.
Sure. Yeah.
And sure enough, I had 8 orders.
I was gonna say you could take us out right
Yeah,
left and
right away. So 8 orders. I was like, oh, cool.
Okay.
So I started building desks.
Awesome.
And then more people start, hey, I heard you're building desks. Hey, I heard through the grapevine you're building desks. I'm like, I am, but I'm kind of like running out of stuff. Oh, well, you know, I post about it. People that I've known for a long time, oh, here's $100. Go buy some stuff, build some more desks. I'm like, cool.
Thanks.
You know, I'm 20 desks in.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
I could really use some screws. All right, what kind of screws you need? Screws get dropped off. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. The kindness of people, man.
And then I get a message. I was actually, so you're my second podcast I've ever been on. The first
Nice.
one,
Awesome.
I'll get to in a minute, but
Sure.
so I get hit up by ABC7
Oh.
on Instagram, and they're like, hey, we heard you're building desks for kids.
Oh, come on.
I was like, yeah. We'd like to come by and do a story. I'm like,
Let's go.
okay.
Take one handy guy, a talent with wood, lay him off his software job, and let his mind wander. Chai Hansanuwat realized that in this high-tech world, an item many children really need is low-tech.
Now, you know, there's a big need for desks, so I'm building desks. So they come by and they do the story, right? And I'm like, dude, this is awesome.
That's
and-
great to hear, man.
They didn't know when it was going to air, right? And about a week later, I'm sitting there and we're having dinner, and my phone just goes.
Oh my gosh, you got
I
to
was like,
experience that? You actually
was
got
like,
to experience that.
what the hell is going on? I pull it up and I'm like, 50 new messages. Check the messages. Hey, I need a desk. I need a desk.
Yeah.
200 messages, 250 messages. And I was like, they must have aired the thing. And sure enough, they aired it. And
It's the power of it, man.
And I spent the entire night till 2 a.m. going through messages and responding to people. Okay, let me figure this
I'll
out.
put you in a queue somewhere. I'll put you in a list, and we can.
And I'm like, I want to die. I'm like, I did not intend. I want to help everyone.
Yeah, of
That-
course.
like we
That's
mentioned
awesome.
earlier, right? I just want to solve problems.
Sure. If everyone wants one,
Yeah.
it's like I could probably do that.
And I was like, you know, I want to help everyone. 250 people in.
Mhm.
So
Oh my God.
I made a list.
Oh,
And
wow.
after 250 people, I had to tell people, I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
can't. I will put you on a waiting list, but
Yeah. I'm only
there's
one
no
person.
way I'm building more than 250 desks,
It's
right?
insane.
And we're talking people like, I have 3 kids, I have 2 kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, you know, I want to help everyone. And
I have 2 hands. That's all I
and
got.
here's the thing too, is like, I'm hearing stories. I'm a single mom.
Sure.
I'm like, you know what? Please don't tell me. I don't want to make decisions on
Yeah,
who
we
gets a
can't-
desk and who
We
doesn't.
can't do that. So
Right?
it's got to be a system, and
Yeah.
that's got to be a queue or something.
So I posted on my Instagram. I don't remember the words exactly, but it was
Sure.
somewhat to the sense of, "Holy hell, I need help!"
Yeah. Guys.
Right? So at that point, because I was, you know, people were following me for like the woodworking stuff I was doing. There were other people there,
Yeah.
and you know, I got people hitting me up from Whittier, whatever, and I'm like, I'm not near you. If you're gonna drive out here, that's fine. So I had a guy, Tim, that was following me in Whittier that was also doing woodworking. He's like, hey, How can I help?
Nice. Awesome.
I'm like, you know what? You're on something here. So he starts building desks. So me and Tim are building desks, and we're going through this list, right? And then, hey, I heard you're building desks for people. I'm like, yeah, I can't take any more. No, I want to help build.
Let's go.
Okay.
Volunteers.
All right. This turned in something. 50 builders later, 3,000 desks. 3,000 desks.
That's a lot of desks.
Yeah. So we're talking like 4 months. We've built 3,000 desks
Factory.
for kids.
You're a desk factory.
And these 3,000 desks are just the ones we had queues for. So we also had events like in Covina where 20 people get together, build 50 to 100 desks, and then they give them out, right? So we didn't track any of those. So
Dude, so that spawned the desk.
guy hits me up from Maine. Maine, the opposite
Yeah.
end of the
As
country.
far
Is
as
like,
it goes.
hey, how do I get started? It's like, okay,
Let's go.
here's the instructions, right? You know, so
That's
that was-
awesome.
and here's the thing, I'm unemployed. I'm not making any money, and I'm building these desks, and I'm like, I'm totally happy. I'm not stressed out, and I'm like,
Yeah, you are. Of course you are.
but then we're getting close to December, right? And I'm like, what about Christmas?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do for my kids for Christmas?
Sure,
You know?
Sure.
And at that
I
time,
remember that winter, man.
yeah,
Jeez.
it was rough. It was scary. I was happy
Scary.
because I felt like I was making a difference.
Sure.
But at the same time, in the back of my head, it's like, I'm not helping my family,
Yeah.
right? And
We're
that's
in
got
this
to
long
come
run of
first.
crazy times.
Yeah,
So-
and I was like, you know, I've done my part. I've built this community of people building desks. Let me try to take care of my family now.
Yeah, you did
And
your
obviously, donations are
part.
coming.
They're
Right?
literally self-sufficient. They're
Like
good.
I wasn't spending my own money at that point. Donations were coming in.
Yeah.
We had a GoFundMe that I was distributing to all the other builders, and they weren't spending money out of pocket, right? They were
Yeah.
getting their own donations.
Yeah.
So at that point, like, okay, now I need to start taking care of my family.
Right.
And
So what's the plan?
it just so happened, my old company's like, hey, we would love to come. One of the guys building desks with me, like
Okay.
really close, like to the point where him and I almost started a nonprofit together. He used to work, or he worked at the company that I was laid off from. He was
Sure.
still there, and he happened to be a recruiter.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, you know, they're starting to hire again. I was like, really? So I talked to my old boss, and she's like, I didn't hit you up because I didn't think you're interested. I've seen what you've been doing, and you look totally
You look
happy.
completely good.
And I said, I am totally happy,
Yeah.
except for the fact that my tech salary was a damn good tech salary.
I know.
And all the
My
woodworking
family.
in the world, unless I start a big business, is
Yeah.
not going to cover that
Yeah. I hear
as
you.
much as I love it. She's like, okay, what do you want? And I was like, old position. I'll even take the same salary, but I've been laid off by you guys before.
True.
If I come back, I want something in the bank to cover me if that happens again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a sign-on bonus, right? I was like, okay, sounds good. Same day, one of the guys that used to work at that company with me, who had left, he wasn't part of the layoffs, but he had left. He had gone to Mythical, and he's like, hey, I need them to build a QA team here.
Let's go.
I'm like,
Well, around what time was this?
this was around November.
Okay, gotcha.
I need them to build a QA team out here. Like he's on the engineering side,
Sure.
so they don't have anything. They only have
Just starting.
they have game client QA, but
Okay.
they don't have anything for our systems. And I'm like,
Gotcha.
okay, what are we talking? So we'll talk to the product guy. What kind of role is it? It's just a senior engineer role. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to go back to that, but you know, the money's right. The money's right.
Usually is, I would imagine.
So I talked to him, and the money wasn't right,
Oh.
you know. And he calls me back, and he's like, "So, after talking to you and hearing everything that you bring to the table, we've changed the role, and it's now a manager role,
Gotcha. Interesting.
and we want to bring you on. Here's the numbers, right?" And I'm like, "Well, it's still lower,
Okay.
you know, than my old company."
Good for you, man. Yeah,
And-
you get what you deserve.
And I know that if I go to my old company, I know the work, I know the people,
Right.
I know I don't have to go into a new job and learn a ton of new things.
Lot of
Which,
benefits. Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
I know everything about the company, and they're paying me more. And he's like,
Sure.
okay. Recruiter comes back. He's like, here's this. This is the closest we can come. It's not the same, but here's this other stuff that we can throw your way, right? And
Okay.
and to me, it was like, okay, let me take my son, for example. He plays Fortnite at the time. He plays Fortnite. He spends $10 on a skin.
Sure.
What does he do with that skin?
Mhm.
Nothing. Plays with it.
He enjoys it. Looking
Here's
at
a
it.
company that you spend $10 on a skin, Blanko, and now it has value.
Yeah.
You can resell it, get your money back, make money.
As far as I know, this is the first time. It was the first time I've ever heard
Yeah.
of something like this.
And I'm like, now this turns into teaching my son, hey, you play the game, you earn the stuff. Go ahead and buy the other stuff you want because you've earned that money, right? Stop asking me for it. Make it yourself now. I'm like, this is very interesting.
kind of
to me.
brilliant. Yeah.
I'm not a gamer, but my son is, right? It's like, this is interesting to me. I'm like, so I signed up, said I'll do it. I spent the first 6 months as the only QA engineer as a manager. Our alpha marketplace that came out, I didn't have any people then. It was just me
Oh my gosh.
testing the entire thing.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, dude, I can't. No, you brought me here to grow a team. I need to grow a team
Yeah.
now.
I need help.
And
Jeez.
so, I hired one person, and he helped out, significantly, but it still wasn't enough. I hired a couple more people, and they're starting to help out. They're really good hires, right?
Okay.
So now it's a team of 4, and this is July, right? Sometime in July. And then my boss suddenly, so he's like, "Hey, we're gonna make you." And if Mythical, if you're hearing this, then turn it off now. With all that you're doing, we want to make you, director of not just QA but of product support as well. Because
Okay.
anytime someone had an issue with something that had to do with marketplace, I was the one debugging and fixing it, right? And I'm like, I want to build a team that does it. I don't have time to do this.
Yeah, of course.
right?
Of course.
So he's like, okay, we're going to double your team size and we're going to give this other team to you. We're going to make you director of product and support.
Sure.
I'm like, awesome. And then he leaves. He's like, sorry, dude, but I've been working on this thing with Lyft and
Wow.
it finally went through and I'm out. I'm like,
Wow.
okay.
So here we go.
Yeah. So at that time, I'm like, all right, so I don't have my boss here anymore. And then I'm reporting directly to the chief product officer, right? Who's super busy.
Right.
Super busy. He doesn't have time for me. I'm like, I need people.
Sure.
I hear you. I hear you. Hey, remember I told you I need people? I hear you. I hear you. Right?
Still need them.
He leaves.
Oh wow.
I'm like,
Oh,
what's
no.
going on here?
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so I'm sitting there like I'm way understaffed.
Oh my gosh.
And they bring in a new CTO later, and we're just chatting one day, and I'm like, dude, I need help. Like, I don't have a boss. I haven't had a boss for a couple months.
Right. Right.
That's great. I don't need a boss until I need something, and I've been needing something.
Yeah. I hear you.
And he's like, so
Jeez.
I was like, dude, just let me report directly to you. He's like, all right,
Right.
makes it happen. And suddenly my team of 4 is now starting Monday, a team of 11. Team of
Okay.
11.
There you go.
In a few months, it should be a team of 15. By the end of the year, I'm looking.
We're smooth
Oh
sailing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's huge. And my big thing now is I've been that guy for so long who you need the problem solved, let me take care of it.
Yeah.
And
Troubleshoot.
I am just now trying to remember how to step away and
Just 'cause
say,
you're good at it.
Right, and say-
you're good at it.
I brought you here because I trust you,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So now I'm going to start trusting you. I know the answer. I don't have time to do the answer. Go ahead and go with it.
Yeah.
Right?
I hear you.
And-
I hear you.
And that's where I'm at now. It's
Yeah.
like trying to step back and let the people that I've brought in make the decisions. And I just want to kind of guide them in the right direction
Right.
and let them figure it
I'll
out.
see what happens. Just be there for them as
Yeah.
support in case they need it. That's the way to do it, though, right? Like you can't helicopter.
Exactly.
Jenny is experiencing that with her new boss, and I've experienced that with bosses where they're just they can't delegate. They don't want to delegate, and they just want to take everything. And it's a matter of trust. You really have to trust your team.
Yep.
That's what it all comes down to. And
Yeah.
you just need to keep working together and get through all that stuff until you reach that amount of trust, and then you can literally
Yeah.
work
And,
independently.
and for me, it's all about hiring the right people. And I feel like I've done that.
Sure. Always surround yourself
And
with a good team.
I'm still doing that, right? And my big thing is, like, I've had resumes come in, I've had interviews come in where
Oh yeah.
these people know their shit,
Mhm.
right? I don't hire them.
Sure.
It's all about, like, I can have, let's say, we'll just call him Bob. I can have Bob on my team, and Bob's the kind of guy that I say, hey, I need XYZ done. And Bob says, I've kind of done that before. Let me take care of it,
Okay.
right? And Bob goes and disappears for 3 days.
Sure.
In 3 days, he comes back, says, here, I did XYZ, also did ABC because I felt like we need it, right?
Good job,
Wow,
Bob.
superb. Great work, Bob. That's great. There's always room for a Bob on your team, but what you really need is you need someone who's going to say, hey, I need XYZ. And what I need now are the people that say, why do you need XYZ?
Hmm.
Right? And
Interesting.
it's totally different. It's like,
Hmm.
why do you need XYZ? Okay, well, let's talk about it. Good
Yeah.
question. And then someone else speaks up and says, well, maybe we don't need XYZ. Maybe we need X, Y, and ABC. And it's like, oh, it's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we do. And another one pipes up and says, yeah, but if we're going to do C, then we can actually skip A and B and move them into C, right? And it's conversation starting, right?
Sure.
And then now what I have is, I don't have Bob who sits there and you can rely on him to deliver everything. Now I've got 3 people that have grown a little bit, right? And every little
And
bit
building
they
off
grow.
of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to build now.
Gotcha.
And it's nice
Makes
to have
sense.
the people like Bob on your team that you can rely on. But at the same time, I need people that are going to have those discussions that can help build the team
Yeah.
around them,
Absolutely.
right? And not just build up themselves.
Yeah. I agree.
And that's where I am in my career right now, is putting that together.
Thanks. I'll say this: it's like being in a band. I can equate that to playing music.
Yeah.
Everyone has to have the same big picture.
Yeah. Yep.
If everyone's in it for the same reasons, which is it should be just for playing music. It should be because music is beautiful.
Yeah.
And you just want to continue and be a part of music. Then everything's going to be all right. You're all going to work hard. You're all going to get.
Exactly.
I heard they said when how the Beatles became the Beatles, they were just while all of their friends were busy doing things, they were being the Beatles.
Yeah.
It's high school and so on, because they saw the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're just gonna give. And I've had a taste of it. And I'm like, once you see a chance to get in there, you will stop everything and put everything
Yep.
into music because it's like it's a dream to play for the people and da 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 da.
And the great thing about Mythical is, like, that's how they approach it, right? People first,
Sure.
one team. And that one team is important because you
Quality,
have
not quantity. Always.
exactly. You have a bunch of people going down separate paths to accomplish something, and you can only go so far.
Yeah, true. That's good, man. And I mean, I'm loving everything I've heard every time the devs talk and all of your team. Like they are very, very capable.
Yeah. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect world. We're in a state where, if you've ever been in technology, like working as a startup, it's, hey, let's get a lot of shit done. Let's make some mistakes, but let's recover quickly,
It's like a
right?
game jam.
Yeah,
man.
Let's get it out there
Just
and
keep
find out
moving.
what
Yeah.
works and find out what doesn't, right? And that's all great. But now, like, the company has grown so much, and now we're at that point where startup mode doesn't work
No.
anymore.
Yeah,
No,
everything
you,
needs to shift. Yeah.
You need standards. You need processes,
Yes.
and you need all that.
Yes.
And that's the part we're at right now. Is like, okay,
Expansion.
how do we make this work? How do we make this work when we want to do something different
Right.
and
Yeah, so
add
you can stay
more and
fluid.
scale and
Scaling. Yeah, scaling.
So that's where we're at, and it's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
It's really exciting, but at the same time, I'm at that point right now where if I wake up at 2 a.m. and I'm solving a problem for work in my head, it's time to take a vacation, take a break.
Yeah, it is. It's good. I'm glad to hear that.
I've since December of 2020, I have been 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I heard.
Right, and
Sure.
I took a couple of weeks off in July of last year.
So, real side note, I'm just thinking about how much has happened since that time, like within the game.
And,
can you like how fast it's
and I
moved
could tell
recently?
you a lot. It's only a percentage of what I work on.
I know.
Is that right?
And there's still so much more too.
Yeah.
That's the mind blower.
And side note, like, there's lots of stuff Mythical's trying to do
I
right
know.
now,
I believe it.
and it's
I'm glad.
it's exciting, but at the same time, like, if I don't build my team up fast enough, I am going to be thinking about work at 2 a.m. You know,
Rocking back and forth. Awake at night.
my best solutions are when I wake up at 2 a.m.
I hear you,
in a
man.
cold sweat, going, "How do I solve
I
this?"
know.
And those are my best solutions, but at the same time, that's not healthy.
Yeah, you can only do so much of that, man. And
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to all the time, like in those stretches like that. You should
Yeah.
be able to. I always say this, like, I have no problem working in high stress situations so long as there's a vacation to look forward to somewhere.
Yeah.
If I can, like, because I remember working for the print shop, that was grueling. We didn't take vacations. There wasn't holidays. It wasn't like anything. You just worked. And that got rough. After a while, it just that's why I went over to Ivaris, where I learned the digital design,
Yeah.
which I hated digital design. I was just like, I don't want anything to do with web development or none of that. I'm a print designer. Print's the best. It's cool. And after a while of being in there and just like kind of struggling, they were like, well, it pays a lot more.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, shit, I'll learn it. And
Yeah.
it ended up being, I'm glad I did, because, you know, once you have both sides as a designer, or at least kind of a grasp
Yeah.
on the digital side as well, you can become very strong. But coding, first of all, coders and programmers, like, I've worked with them before. I don't understand them.
And for me, like, I love coding stuff.
Cut above the rest.
But
guys.
I am at that point where, like, I'm telling my guys, this is what we need. I know how to code it and how to do it and what I think we should do.
Mhm.
But I'm at that point where I'm like, you tell me what you think we should do.
Yeah.
You guys are the ones in there.
It's more interesting, I think, to like, rather than for you to be like, okay, guys, here, to be like, just stop and be like, here, let's see how you, and you never know, they might have a different approach
Exactly.
to it. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. Like, yeah, I can come in here and solve this today
Sure.
and have something running, 2 to 3 days. But that's not my role anymore.
Yeah.
And part of me misses that, but at the same time, I love challenging and seeing what people come up with.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, you know what? You guys are the ones who are in here doing this work. You're going to be touching this every day.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me what you think it should look like.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you if I think it's going to work a certain
Yeah.
way.
I'm always of the, and it's like in any kind of like working relationship, it's always the best idea wins. That has to be the mentality if you're in a group,
Yeah.
or else it's just gonna crumble.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who that idea comes
No.
from. Like, everyone is like, you just humble yourself and be like, hey, you got it. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
teamwork.
And the biggest thing I want to promote is, like, don't come back to me with what you think will work. Come back to me what you guys think will work, right?
Yeah.
Get together, figure that out, and then come back to me and tell me what you think will work. Because you put multiple heads together, you put multiple experiences together,
Yeah, absolutely.
and you're going to come up with much better solutions.
Just like the band, man. I'm telling you, like, you can only come up with, you only have so much to draw from, but when you mix that with someone else's
Yeah.
entire universe, that's when the magic happens.
Yep.
And that's two people. You put three, it infinitely expands. And that's how, But to get that many like-minded people together and motivated is the ticket. So
Yeah.
I'm like, if you've ever had a chance to work with a team like that, do whatever you can. Go down with the ship if you have to.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we went down with the ship. I was just like, I'm not quitting until this job is done.
Yep.
Because I love my team. And
Yeah.
we're doing such good work, even if it's like struggling.
Yep.
Amidst struggle. Cool, man. Oh. No worries, man. No, you're good. I appreciate the heads up, man. Are you opening up right now? Cool, man. All right, dude. You want to take a ride in the BRZ?
Yeah, let's do it.
Not good. We're not gonna die. This is the best way to start. This is the best way to start a ride. I learned. Just a little driving.
Mexico.
Please pull over. Please let me pass you. It's okay if you don't. That would be great. Thank you.
Yes.
Best. We have the horsies.
You're good.
Yeah, once you go FPV, once you go into goggles, you don't have to rely on like seeing the drone. It opens everything up. I've never experienced anything like it. Try the racers, drone racing.
Dude, I watched that.
It's insane.
The
Too fast.
reactions you have to be able to have is
It's insanely fast. You see when they crash, dude,
yeah.
they're going so fast. Yeah, we'll see if that becomes a thing ever. I hope it does. I truly do.
Well, we have skateboarding in the Olympics.
I know, man.
You know,
Tell me
we've
about
come
it.
a long way.
It's so beautiful, Chai. Like, that really was like, it just swelled my heart once I found out that like we finally made it to the Olympics. It's so respected now. You know what I mean? Because it was this thing that like when we were young, we used to just get told not to do it, and like, why are you doing this? And you guys need to stop this and that. But we all knew.
Yeah.
We all knew that this was something beautiful. You know what I mean? This is something absolutely beautiful.
It's like I watch my son now doing the parkour stuff, kind of living through him and thinking about the fact that a lot of his coaches and the people that are really doing something with it didn't start till they were like 15 years old or whatever, right? And here he is at 11 years old getting a start on it.
Same with me, dude. Like I started late in life too. So
Yeah.
I admire like the fact that that's like those were the Nishas come up with. That's how that's how we get our proteges. You know what I mean? So cool.
Yeah, we sit there and watch YouTube videos of someone like Dom Tomato and jumping from building to building.
Let's go.
And I'm sitting there on the couch, like clenching my asshole
Right?
every time he jumps. And that's probably going to be my son someday, and it's going to be scary, but I trust that he's learned to make smart decisions. He knows what he's capable of.
It's an athletic life, man.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's like learning martial arts. It's like it's not just learning the form. It's adopting the lifestyle.
Exactly.
And it really does like teach you how to live life. It goes so far beyond the actual, the practice.
Some of the best things he's learning now is not actually the parkour, but how to take care of your body and how to properly warm up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't go and do a flip until you've warmed up your knees and you've warmed up your ankles.
please warm up. Please stretch.
And also
Please hydrate.
when to stop.
Yes.
Like, he'll be at the end of a long training session or whatever, and he wants to try a backflip, and his coach is like,
Worst time to do it.
no, your
Worst time
legs
to
are
do it.
tired.
Yeah.
This is, I'm sure you can do it, but if you don't, this is not the time to try.
Yeah, you want to do it. I always think of it with me like I don't want to do sloppy shit. So it's like if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it. I don't want to do it nice and clean, and I know I'm gonna do it sloppy if I try it right now because of my legs. I couldn't do that. I'm telling you this right now, but I couldn't follow my own advice when we skated. I was just like, oh, my legs are jelly. I might just do one more.
So I was watching I didn't see it live.
Okay.
I was busy, so I was watching the VOD on that,
More.
and I was like, Pancho, what are you doing?
Everyone else too were like,
What are you
be careful,
doing?
be careful.
It's
It's
like,
like, dude, I got this.
come on, man. When you say that there's two things you never say.
Right.
You never say last one.
Yep. True.
You're guaranteeing that you're going to hurt yourself somehow.
Yeah, this is kind of facts, man.
And you never say my legs are tired, and then you go and do it.
Yeah,
But you
that's
left
true.
out. You left out.
Yeah, no, I literally,
dodged a bullet on that one. I broke a rib on the last try on a dirt bike. It's like, we're hitting a jump all day in third gear, throwing stuff off it. Yay! Last day goes by, we're fixing to leave. I'm gonna hit in fourth gear. Why not? Let's try to hit in fourth gear just cause. Let's see what happens. Broke a rib. That's what happens. Idiot.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was telling you, like, we did the parents' parkour night, and you know, I told you I wanted to do a Kong. That's all I wanted to do, and I got the Kong. And then at the end of the night, we're doing speed challenges.
Right.
Like, we're going through a course, and me and the other dad just going at it. You know, who get the fastest time?
Hell yeah.
And I said the words. All right, you know what? One more. I made it about 10 feet before I felt my ankle, and I was like, okay, that's it. I'm done. And limped for the next week.
Oh, there it was. You could have been fine.
Yeah, all because I said last one. You know, if I didn't say
Had to push that
last
last
one, it would have been
You
fine.
probably would. I probably could have gone on forever.
For your birthday, I wanted to make you something, and it was a little late because I found out about your birthday late. But it was, for me, it was an R&D project as well as a gift for you.
Okay.
So I've
I like
learned a
it.
few things.
Nice.
I freaking probably punched the wall a couple times because it didn't work.
Fair enough.
And the end result, let's just say it's not where I wanted it to be.
Okay.
But I kind of ran out of ordering more plexiglass too. Right? So it's not exactly where I want it.
No worries. Oh my gosh, it's huge.
So we got Pancho Lightsout, right? So this was thinking for your podcast. So we're on air, okay? I'm gonna send you a little video.
What the hell? Nani?
The surface here I'll explain to you later, but it didn't come out how I wanted.
What?
And I was not happy with it.
It's okay.
And then I plugged it in.
Okay.
And I was like, oh fuck. I'm not giving this to him. This thing is awesome.
Are you serious? Oh my god, I can't wait to plug this in, Chai. Thank you so much. Let me see the wood. This is beautiful. Look at the sides.
So this is
gosh, so
3
thick.
layers of plywood, and it's 2 things, right? So the plywood's cost
I
effective.
love it. Okay.
But I found a way that I enjoy the way it comes out when
Sure.
you layer them, right?
That's beautiful.
So lights up. I'm gonna send you a video. You can connect it to your, if you know, Amazon Echo, Alexa, or Google Home, anything like that. There's so much you can do.
Oh my
I'll send you a
gosh,
video.
Chai. You're the best, dude.
Just
We got a
plug it in.
remote.
You
Okay.
got a remote. If you install the app,
Here's what I'm gonna do. Hold on a second. Go ahead.
if you install the app, you can actually, like, it'll sync up to your music
Oh my
or any
Yeah.
sounds coming through the mic.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
I'll save it, but I made a little video for you on some of the
Oh
different
my
things you can do.
gosh, Chai.
I'll
You're
send
too
it.
nice.
Hey Google, Pancho's going live.
Hyped. We are now online.
You're too good to me.
So yeah, that's it. So again, like, this part didn't come out the way I wanted it. It looked like this when I first did it,
That's so nuts.
which is nice.
Okay.
But then the paint dried and all that showed up, and I'm like, wow. The reason I couldn't use this one is it came out too thin.
That's crazy
and
though.
it cracked.
Big up for the acrylic
Right?
work. That's so cool. That's so nuts. So that's what the backside
Yeah.
looks like.
So
That's
I was
so
actually
cool.
gonna throw this out, but if you
Hey,
want
you dude, you know me. I'll take it. All right, cool, man. I got something for you too, because you know, you know how to do it. It's more me stuff though.
nice.
These are from Kryptone.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she told me she was making these.
Those
She's like, oh no, I don't have any more.
Those
of
are two.
ones.
She blessed me with a ton of them. Big old bag. But this is
Nice.
the real important one, my dude. No hands, bike club.
Yeah, dude. That brings me back.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I was looking through all my patches and I was like, dude, Chai's
Dude,
got
that's
this one for
awesome.
sure. This is a Chai patch for
Thank
sure.
you, dude.
Find a good spot, my dude.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
You're the best, Chai.
And she says it's no, baby. And she says it's no, but you choose. And she says it's no, like a black. And she says it's no, good and bad, but yet she knows. She gave me all that.
That was good, man. Really good.